Read that, pause it, read it, and then come back to me. So I had a message last night saying about Fat Freaks doing a video about the drugs test. So I don't really watch Fat Freaks because he's got a little bit of a vengeance against me for some reason, because apparently I'm a scammer and a thief. But as you know, it's been going on too long and it's loads of bullshit. So somebody sent me a message yesterday called Linda saying that she's been through the same thing as I have been. And reluctantly, I did go and watch the video. And actually, I was quite impressed, Fat Freaks, that you didn't K me or Richard. So it made me a little bit dubious. So what I did, I'd done some investigation on these tests. So I went onto Amazon, I went onto eBay, and I done, because I didn't do that, I didn't research the drugs test. I just got a random and done it on Richard, because someone had planted a seed in my head saying that Richard was on cocaine. Obviously, like a long time ago, like I did as well, and I'll put my hands up to it. We all done drugs in the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. And someone had already said that the way Richard talks gave her suspicion on he was on cocaine. And also someone else had divulged some information about Richard being on cocaine. So let me give you a rundown of me and Richard. So me and Richard met 3 years ago, and he was in a relationship, and basically I had a problem with my lodge and he come to fix it, and I fancied him straight away. But as soon as I found out he had a girlfriend, I stepped aside because I wouldn't do that to another woman. And Richard told me he had a girlfriend, and off he went, and off I went. Obviously I wouldn't step on another woman's toes. But what I didn't know was there's complications in his relationship, and he resolved them, and we met up. I did see him a couple of times in Clacton, said hello. And the main thing was when I saw him in the garage, that was the day I was like, oh, he's a bit of me. And I went to give him my number, and then his girlfriend popped round the corner. That was quite funny. And then he was like, oh, this is so-and-so, and this is so-and-so. And I was like, okay. And then I walked away, and that was it. Never saw him for about another year and a half, where he then split up with his ex-girlfriend. And Richard messaged me on Facebook, and we had a talk, and we met, and then we fell in love instantly. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you know, that doesn't happen. But I was one of them people. I was one of those people who took him back. So I was just reading the message, sorry. One of them people that don't fall in love easy. As you know, I'm quite hard-hearted. And we had the most amazing relationship. We laughed all the time. We went out together. We got engaged within 3 months, which I never thought would happen. But it did. And we really, really had the most amazing relationship you could ever have between two people. And there was a few jealous people about who tried to call shit, but we rode it together. We just like ignored it. We had our engagement party. Someone tried to put the spanner in the works, or say, at the engagement party, but we just rode that out. We're not jealous people. Richard's not jealous. Well, a little bit. But I'm definitely not a jealous person. But we, you know, we had a really good relationship. And in the last couple of weeks, or last couple of months of our relationship, probably 5-6 weeks, we've had a few little things that have come to light. One with his ex and a court case, which I can't divulge yet, but the truth will come out. And that sort of planted seeds. And then someone else said about Richard, because if anybody knows Richard, Richard's like talks really fast. And I'm not blaming this person, because I know that person's going to watch it. I'm not blaming you, by the way. I'm just saying how this manifested. So said to me, do you think he's on drugs? I said, no way. And I did have his back. I said, there's no way in a million years he would do drugs. And I asked him, and he said, no. 100% no. I would never, ever take drugs with you, because I know you don't like it. So I left it. And then the conversation arose again, and I went and done a random drugs test. And as you saw, the random drug test come back positive. Anyway, going back to the point of Fat Freaks. he done a video, and I don't really get on with fat freaks, and fat freaks don't get on with me. But actually, he did make a point. So I done a bit of research over the last couple of days, and it becomes apparent that these drug tests are fake, some of them. I have met up with Richard. We've had dinner last night, talking, and he absolutely swears on the grave that he's never, ever, ever touched a drug since he's been with me. And I do believe him. And I know, like, we've had a really complicated couple of months with all the allegations that his ex has made and seeds that he's planted. And we've had 2 days talking. That's why I haven't been on, really. And then I get a text message from Linda saying that she was falsely accused. I actually spoke to Linda on the phone as well. It's quite a sad story what people will go to try and split you up. But she went through the same. And it made me question, was I being fair? I hadn't spoken to Richard for like 2 weeks because I wouldn't answer the phone on him. I wouldn't reply to his text messages. I was just back working, living my life, going to my dance parties. And we went for a curry and had long depths of conversation up until like 2, 3 o'clock this morning, and had breakfast this morning and discussed the allegations made by a certain person. Obviously, I can't discuss that either because that's in a court case. But the truth always comes out. So with these drug tests and stuff, I want to thank, from the bottom of my heart, literally thank fat freaks for doing what he done. I don't find him very fair, really, sometimes when he does his deep dives, because he doesn't listen to 2 sides of the story. But I watched his video a couple of times, and I was like, maybe he had a point. So I went in and, like, reviewed these drug tests. They're not 100%. Some people say they are 100%. Some say they're 97%. But a lot of the reviews, like Fat Freaks had done, was... I'll tag you in this as well, Fat Freaks. A lot of the reviews are fucking getting people in shit. Me and Richard's got an amazing relationship. I'm not joking you. We planned a wedding. We got engaged. I just knew when I saw him. But obviously, let's call him Mr. C. He knows who he is. You know, I said straight away that I liked him from day one. And I said straight away that he was going to be my husband. And I don't know where I knew, but I said to Mr. C, because he's going to be my husband, and he'd just laugh. And everyone in the office would laugh. But now, like, to this day, like, I do love him to pieces. And it's really been a hard struggle, as you saw me having a fucking meltdown the other day about this drugs test. And I've completely been on my own, isolated, trying to work things out in my head to find out. Also, Richard's been having some funny phone calls saying that he was out last Friday night with the bird in Wetherspoons in Clacton, which was confirmed by 2 of his friends this afternoon that actually, no, he wasn't. There's some other little bits that's been said. People ringing Richard up. People ringing me up, telling me what we're doing. And to be fair, if I would have spoken to him, I probably would have known it was bullshit anyway. But because I wasn't speaking to Richard and really sort of put him through the mill, I believed it. So before you start shit stirring about people's relationships and going around damaging people's characters, you know who you are. You're watching that because you watch everything I do. And you know the guilt. Well, if you're going to do things like that, you probably ain't guilty anyway. But if you're going to try and destroy people's relationship, come back with the truth. And I put Richard through hell. And upset myself. And tore myself to pieces. We've all got our faults. But Richard never did the drugs. And some people who are shit stirring are probably sitting there going, yes, he did, yes, he did. Listen, I would know 100%. And I don't believe anything you've said or done in the phone calls now. So now we have to rebuild and try and get this relationship back on track, because we do love each other. And you can go screenshot in Facebook and you can go and do whatever you want, because you did do some damage. But it's done now. And I'm not going to fester in hatred. And I want to thank Fat Freaks with my whole heart to say that thank you for doing that video, because I don't think I would be here today. That's the way it goes.